Hey guys, quick note. My brand new book, The Authoritarian Moment, is out this week. Go pick up a copy today. I think it's really important. It's about how all of the major institutions of American society have now been taken over and weaponized by the left against dissent. It's not just about how they did it. It's about how we take those institutions back. Check out the link in the description below and get a copy of The Authoritarian Moment. You're talking about masking up hundreds of millions of people at this point, based on circumstances that have been defined by the CDC director as somewhat rare. The only data that have been presented are a breakout case in Provincetown and an Indian study that has not been verified yet. But even if you accept all that, the incentive structures still make no sense. So Joe Biden was asked to explain why he changed his standards on post-vaccination masking, and here he is not being able to explain himself, of course.
In May, you made it sound like the vaccine was the ticket to losing the mask forever. And
that is true at the time, because I thought there were people who were going to understand that getting vaccinated made a gigantic difference. And what happened was, the new variant came along, they didn't get vaccinated, it was spread more rapidly, and more people were getting sick. That's the difference.
Okay, well, that's not actually the difference. The unvaccinated are in just as much danger as they ever were. The vaccinated are in just as little danger as they ever were. So actually, the calculus did not change. The only thing that changed here is that everybody panicked. That's what changed here. By the way, Biden did say that, right? He said, if you're vaccinated, unmask. Right? This was Joe Biden just a couple of months ago.
It's vaxxed or masked.
That, by the way, is a lot more coherent than what he's saying now. You'll recall that last year, by the way, Joe Biden, it's now been a year since this. Joe Biden said last year, quote, I'm not going to shut down the country. I'm not going to shut down the economy. I'm going to shut down the virus. Oh, really? Then why won't your White House rule out further lockdowns? Yesterday, one of the White House press secretaries came out and explained that the White House would not be ruling out further lockdowns.
if scientists come to you at some point down the line and say, it is our opinion that there should be shutdowns and there should be school closures, you would do that?
Well, we listen to, like I said, we listen to the CDC and the expert and their guidance. The CDC is a body that is very well respected, and we follow their guidance.
The CDC is not a body that is well respected. It is not well respected by me. It is not well respected by people who watch the CDC. I do not respect the CDC. They've changed their guidance 1,000 times, not based on good data, but based on this sort of panicked squirrel-like insistence that every new outlier case is a rationale for public lockdowns and mask mandates without any sort of actual understanding of how the human mind works or how people act. This is madness. It's absolutely crazy. By the way, even the mandates that are now being announced by Biden, even though those don't make any sort of internal logical sense. So Joe Biden yesterday announced that federal employees are going to have to get vaccinated or they're going to have to test like every week. So here's what Joe Biden had to say.
Every federal government employee will be asked to attest to their vaccination status. Anyone who does not attest or is not vaccinated will be required to mask no matter where they work, test 1 or 2 times a week to see if they've acquired COVID, socially distance, and generally will not be allowed to travel for work.
Okay, so let's just note something. They said that they're going to be tested like once a week. That's completely ineffective. You test people for COVID once a week. What happens in the intervening week? What if they test negative on Monday and then they have COVID on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday? So no, this doesn't make any sense at all, like at all. But it's not meant to make sense. It's not meant to be related to reality. It's meant to create a forever reliance on government with no actual endpoint. I've been saying this for weeks at this point. There is no end goal. There's no end goal. If your end goal is zero COVID, it's because you're a fool. No one seriously believes that zero COVID is a serious goal. It's not. To pretend that zero COVID is reachable or attainable is contra all available science at this point. And yet that seems to be what they're going for. Because obviously we're not worried about overwhelming the hospitals. Nobody's even mentioned that. We're not even worried about getting people availability of the vaccine. All we're worried about right now is this idea that we have to have zero COVID. Zero COVID is not a real goal, but it's the only goal that would make any sense of what they're trying to do right now. I hope you enjoyed that clip from The Ben Shapiro Show. If you did, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you stay up to date with all our future content.